What the fuck? What happened here?
Like how that's gonna be how this stream starts now. It's just gonna be you going, what the fuck? What happened to you?
Well, for some reason, Raph wasn't with the rest of the turtles.
Wait, what now?
My Funko Pops.
Oh,
Raph was for some reason behind something else.
yeah, a little too rough.
A little too crude.
No, he's rude, you idiot. It's one of my biggest pet peeves is people who think Raphael was cool but crude. No, he's rude.
I know, you idiot. That's why I said it.
He's you idiot.
You fucking ecka-dicka.
You fucking knuckles. Knuckles the yucca dicker. Hey, Jono. Fused. Every stream, Jess, that comment gets more corrupted and I love it. Fused. Cool moment.
Like it.
So we are going to be doing a tier list. We'll wait just a minute or so for more people to come up, but I've broken it up. It was sent to me. Tier list was sent to me earlier today when I floated the idea of doing this. I want to credit them correctly because they sent me a list and I was like, I don't know how to do this. It was Smash a Symbol sent me the link to the one he did. I just updated some of the tiers. We're going to be doing them in tier lists. We've got S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, F tier, not played, and of course a special separate tier list for secret rings right at the bottom. When we get to that, everyone knows where that piece of shit's going to go. Sometimes I look at these tier lists and I'm like, people will have like forces lower than something like oh, Uncle Silver, thank you so much, Greg. My first raid.
Hey,
Baby,
let's go, baby.
I'm ready for a controversy-free stream. I think I don't think I have that many Sonic the Hedgehog hot takes. And the only thing right off the bat where we might get some pushback from is I think I may have Black Knight and Forces a tad higher than most people do. But aside from that, but I will get into why I give Forces a little bit of a break more than some people do. But yeah, I think we are doing good. So Theodore, are you ready to join me on this trip?
Yeah, sure. Even though I've only played 7 games.
I'm gonna Tales Adventures first. I'm gonna try and go in somewhat of a main series first, and then we'll leave some of maybe these side games for the bottom. But let's start with the first game. Here we go. Sonic
Not
1.
those ones. The ones at the bottom.
The ones at the bottom. Sonic the Hedgehog. It's an absolute classic game. I'm gonna whack it in B tier. It is a really good game. It's phenomenal soundtrack, great character design. The only reason I'm putting it in B, I'm gonna be slightly hypocritical and contradict something I said when talking about Kirby's Dream Land 2 over on Good Vibes Games. I'm only putting it in B tier in comparison with the rest of the franchise. I just think a lot of the sequels, especially the kind of immediate sequels, not so much CD, just kind of take what Sonic 1 did and just do it a lot better. Which again is kind of the opposite of what I said in regards to Kirby Dreamland 2 in regards to the NSO. But yeah, I think I'm going to put it on B tier. I know, TJ, I think Sonic 1 is one of the few games you've played. Any objections so far to that?
Yeah. I will say, yeah, B's pretty good. Right smack dab in B.
Mm-hmm. Of course, if this was David T. Lurker's list, he would put it in S tier, and it would be the only S tier game in the franchise. I just want to say, just in terms of looking at the stream, I just want to make sure that everything looks like the stream itself, the image you guys are seeing, all good.
Yeah, I
All
think it
good.
looks
Yeah.
good.
Cool. Okay. Then let's go. Okay, you know it's here. Sonic CD. You know, ironically, I am torn between putting it in C and D tier. Uh, okay, I'm gonna put it in C tier. If you would catch me on a day where if you would catch me on a day where I'm not feeling as good, I might put it a bit lower. CD is a game. This is something that's gonna come up a few times in this franchise. It's a game I respect more than I ultimately enjoy. I think it does a lot of interesting things. Was that TJ?
Go ahead, I'll let you finish.
I think it's something that does a lot of interesting ideas. It's an important game in the franchise for introducing things like Amy and Metal Sonic, and just confirming the fact that Sonic as a franchise is not especially known for doing bosses that are good. Um, it is, I will give it some credit. I like the idea of the time travel. Although I was speaking with this with Skylar, the there is literally no purpose to travel to the future. If you are trying to complete the game 100%, there is going to the future. There's nothing for you. So to me, it's kind of like it's a nice idea, but I wish maybe it would be more of a thing if instead of like this the Metal Sonic robot, or like either the robot generators or the Metal Sonic holograms. The fact that they're always in the past means that there's no reason to ever travel to the future. I think it might have been more interesting if, say, depending on the level, it's either in the past or the future. That I think would have given you more, even though it wouldn't make a lot of sense story-wise. I think that would have given you more reason to time travel. Also, the bosses are terrible. I'm not a massive fan of the level design. I think a lot of places, specifically a wacky workbench, are just a fucking chore to play. But I'm putting it in C mostly because of the art design, the great art design, two fantastic soundtracks. Um, so yeah, how about you, TJ? I forget. Have you played CD?
Um, Somewhat. I don't remember if I counted it as one of my like games played, but I had it for the brief time that it was on. Wait, was it on iOS?
Yeah,
I
yeah. I
feel like
mean,
it was.
oh yeah, it was on. It came the Christian
Yeah, okay.
Whitehead remake came to iOS and consoles.
Yeah. I played that briefly, and I definitely had some of the same gripes with it as you do. Maybe not as in depth because I didn't put a ton of hours into it because it was a little off-putting for me. But definitely like in terms of level design, like some levels are just like a chore. I don't care for the art. Like the art, the design, like the aesthetics of the levels are a little too busy
Yeah, yeah.
for
No,
my
I'll give
liking.
it. I'll give it that.
So it ends up being like looking monotonous. Like if that makes sense.
No,
Like
no, I
it's
get you.
just
I
like
get you. Oh, so we
you just
got a first. Oh, sorry to
yeah.
interrupt you. We got a first time chat. It looks like Elliot the underscore haunted arcade. Look at this goofy bitch's name. So I take it, Elliot. I take it just the haunted arcade was already taken. That's gonna suck. the look at this nerd. Let's go. So now we are gonna have Sonic 2. Oh no, you were not. Whoa, that's my mouse is being bad.
That's a bad mouse.
Did I just lose my thing? Oh, there we go. There we go. Switch. Okay. Sonic Hedgehog 2 is going in A tier. No, not B tier. I said A tier. I mean, it's not like a lot to say. It's an utterly amazing game. It is one of like the best sequel games ever. It invented a lot of things for the Sonic franchise. Spin Dash Tails, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, sidekick character of all time. Go away, Adobe. Nobody wants you. Stop saying this. That. Go away. Okay. Absolutely fantastic soundtrack. Great, and recognizable level designs, level themes.
Yeah.
It's just it introduced the fucking Death Egg. I think I forget what his official name is now. I think if you go by Lego Dimensions, his name was Robo Sonic, but I grew up with him calling him Silver Sonic. Sonic 2 was one of the only was
You
the
know, from
was the I'm sorry,
Sonic 2 on the Mega Drive.
not Sonic 2 on the Game Gear. Sonic 2, it's hard, man. I'll be honest with you. This is Origins. This is gonna embarrass me somewhat. Origins was the first time I was ever able to get the Chaos Emeralds without cheating. Because them stages was hard. A lot. See, Stone String, you say that Sky Chase is one of my favorite zones in the franchise. I know some people nowadays don't think it's a bit overplayed. I love it's such a tonal breather, after the insanity that is Metropolis Zone and its 3 massive acts. Just to have this nice chill up in the sky. You don't really have to do anything. You can just relax and enjoy one of the best music tracks. It's good stuff. So yeah, 8 there. I do not see... Stone String, that's fair. I don't really care for auto-scrollers myself, but at least with this one... I don't mind auto-scrollers like Sky Chase because you won't just die for standing still. That's why I dislike auto-scrollers. And I don't see Sonic and Knuckles here, so I'm going to assume this list is just going to have Sonic 3 be Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And in that case, obviously, S tier. Like, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, one of the absolute, in my opinion, one of the best fucking games of all time. I honestly feel that in a lot of when a lot of gaming companies will do like the 100 games of all time type of thing. If there's a Sonic game, it's normally Sonic 2, and I think that may just be nostalgia talking because Sonic 2 sold way more than Sonic 3, so I guess more people have played it over the years. But Sonic 3 and Knuckles, good God, they perfected the act length. I love the fact that the acts are just connected to each other. That's one of the biggest. Just the world building, and I'm gonna sound stupid saying this, but subtle storytelling that Sonic 3 and Knuckles does is so good, for lack of a much better word. The platforming is fantastic. I know I said earlier that a lot of I don't think Sonic is known for great bosses, but I think some of the best bosses in the franchise come from 3 and K. Obviously, it introduced Knuckles, everyone's favorite character, or it should be. It's just the Doomsday Zone is still one of my favorite moments in a video game. Period. Blue Sphere is it's probably my favorite special stage style of the original 3, or the things like the bonus stages. Tails, when you control him, you can actually fly now. When you add Knuckles, you get play as Knuckles with all of his alternate routes and stuff. It's such a fucking good game that I love it. How about you, Theodore? I haven't played it. TJ?
What?
I just said how do you feel about it?
I'm not gonna lie, you're breaking up like a lot. I mean, in the so the thing about me with 3 and K is I've never actually I don't have a consciousness of playing 3 and K, but I went through a period in my life where there was a game for the Genesis that I remember playing and loving. but I rented it from Blockbuster, and then like it like was locked away in my brain, and I was like, "What was that game? It was so fun. What was it?" And then like after like years and years of searching for this game, I finally realized it was Sonic and Knuckles.
So it's the best game ever made. I agree.
Yeah.
See, what he just, I prefer his Sonic 3 sprite. And I know that's not, I believe that's not a common thought in this franchise, but I've always thought his Sonic 3 sprite just looked way cooler than his Sonic 1 and 2 and CD sprite. So, okay, so now 3D Blast. I'm going to put it in C. I think I have a slight soft spot for this game, just because I remember a time growing up where I want, like, Sonic 3D Blast is the first time I can remember actively like waiting and wanting something like so much. And then you get it and it's like, oh wow, it's a game. I'm gonna go back and play some Sonic 3 and K for a little bit. You know? um Fantastic soundtrack. Like it's might be sacrilege. I think 3D Blast might be one of the best on the Mega Drive. For his soundtracks, the first time that Jun Sonoy was really, I cannot remember if he was technically sound director for 3D Blast, but he did a lot of music for it. I get that that the gameplay is monotonous and the control isn't the best, but I think for trying something different, I will always support a company trying something different than just redoing the same shit over and over and over and over and over and over again. Like, we'll get to Sonic Team Doom with Sonic for a while in the mid 2000s, so I kind of appreciate it on that point. I think it looks fun. Again, a lot of it's just the music is just so good. The Saturn version, the Saturn version looks nicer, has a better special stage, no doubt, but I think the Mega Drive soundtrack is superior. Obviously, the Saturn version sounds better, but I think the Mega Drive version has better compositions. TJ, have you even played this game?
No.
That's gonna be, again, TJ's already played 8 games and there's like 60 Sonic games, so I think most of this is just gonna be TJ going, I ain't never played it. Sonica D tier. It is a terrible game that only gets by.
Fuck you.
Only gets. You don't even play it. Shut up.
Fuck you. Yeah, but I can feel the sunshine.
It brightens my day. It's a meme game. You know, people love it because of the memes and the soundtrack. You know, it's TJ Davis does some bangers. Her getting to hear her sing "Can You Feel the Sunshine" live at Summer of Sonic '08. One of the greatest moments of my life. I'll go to my grave remembering that. So good. But as a game, it's fucking terror. Like, it's,
And that doesn't bump it up to C for you?
no, because you know why? Because this is a game. Okay, they released this as a full-fledged game, racing game, with 5 tracks. The original Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo has like 30, and they're roughly the same size. Like, the tracks aren't even that long. You know, it's like you can complete, if you know what you're doing, you can complete the first like level in under a minute and a half. And it doesn't control very well. Like, it's stiff as fuck. It's not fun to play as. People like this game, and again, it's like,
Yeah, but how good are they?
How good or what? The tracks themselves not very good. They're not good. You know, this is me. I think everyone. I like how it's. I do like how each character has like a special move. Like Sonic has a double jump, Tails can fly, Knuckles can glide. Amy has in a little car, like has a little boost. So then I guess Sonic R is the first Sonic game with a boost mechanic. So history in the making. And Eggman has kind of like fire and missile, and then you get metal, the unlockable characters of Metal Sonic. You get Metal Knuckles, the Tails doll, obviously, Egg Robo, I think, and then Super Sonic, and it's just like, and it does have multiplayer and time trials and all that stuff, but still, it's just like the fact that a Super Nintendo game, racing game in this ilk, has so much more content. I'm just like, I think it's a joke that this was released at full price to the public, because you can do everything in this game within half an hour. So I'm like, just for that purpose alone, I'm like, this is, I get it, it's a meme and all that stuff, but it's just like, yeah, Stone String, yeah, Sonic Arm Man, Richard Jakes, kind of a dick in that regard, especially someone who worked with Sega and should know the fact that remix went up on Sega's official YouTube channel means that T Lopes was commissioned to do so, and so he shouldn't be blaming him for that. But even here and there. Actually, I used to watch all of was it Gaming Ideas? Was that the channel? No, yeah, John Burton's YouTube channel. I used to watch all his videos. Like the earlier concepts were pretty cool. See, like it's. I also the big thing for me is the control. I think it controls like a brick. If the characters were better, Game Heart, I guess the one. If the characters controlled better, I would be a bit more forgiving of the lack of content. But still, I was like, for bad controls and no content, I'm like, nah, it's a D for me, bro. Let's. Okay, this is where I might get again. I might get a bit of a controversial. You know what? I am. I'll go with C. I'll go with C. Sonic 4 Episode 1. I do not hate it in the way that a lot of people, especially the like like if you go on Sonic Retro, obviously this is like the Antichrist. I get it. It's extremely derivative. It doesn't really offer anything new in terms of calling it Sonic, which again we'll get this out to begin with. The name Sonic 4 was a marketing gimmick, I believe, by Sega of America. I forget the exact original name, but it was something like Sonic's hates the adventure, or like Sonic's download adventure, something like that. But then, yeah, if we call it Sonic 4, it'll sell well, and it did. The first game did over 1 million. But again, it's like I never hated it. I understand a lot of the issues people have with it, but I think and it does not control like the classics. And again, for a game called Sonic 4, you really should, and I get that. But again, I don't think it's a terribly controlling game. I think you can have some fun with it which again, if you can get past the name, which is a big thing for a lot of people. I think it's pretty decent. However, for episode 2, I'm putting this in B tier. I fucking love episode 2. I think it fixes not everything, but it fixes a lot of the problems people had with episode 1. For one, it looks a lot better. The level design is there's that poem. You think GJ has played the next 3 games in this list? There's yes, and there's that's not WoW, so no. Accurate, very accurate. I think it does extremely original things with its level ideas. I think it improved a lot of things, like all the bosses are original and everything. I love the Metal Sonic fights in this. I think the Metal Sonic theme that Jun Sonoy composed, I would love it if that's replaced him always getting a Stardust Speedway Bad Future remix, because it's like here's a theme now, let's keep using it because it sounds fucking amazing. The fact that Tails is back, I do wish there was a way to switch between them. If you're just playing like single player, I wish there was a way to just switch between Sonic and Tails, like the Triple Trouble remake does. I think the soundtrack is greatly improved over Sonic 4. I like the little inclusion of episode metal. If you have them both, it's dumb but fun. But I think unfortunately episode 2, due to the reaction in certain circles, because episode 1 did get a handful of good reviews. But I think just living in the wake of episode 1, it got overshadowed by just the amount of backlash it got. I think it's a shame, because I think, say, if episode 2 was released as maybe episode 1, or just released not with the name Sonic 4, it was just like, here's a new Sonic game on digital, I think a lot of people would have been a lot kinder to it, and then we probably would have gotten that hypothetical episode 3, where possibly we could have played Knuckles again. Now, TJ, here's the million-dollar question. Have you played either episode 1 or episode 2? Theodore.
My bad, I was muted. I played the demo of episode 1 on iOS.
Oh, you.
And I haven't played 2.
That's a shame. Not on iOS. You should. When we eventually do that, TJ Plays show coming 2026, we'll make sure you play both
Spider,
episodes.
he's cheating. He's booting it up just to say yes.
Let's go Sonic Pocket Adventure. I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put Sonic Pocket Adventure in B tier. It is a fun little game. It looks great, controls nice, the music is all nice remixes of Sonic tracks from Sonic 2 and 3. The reason why I'm putting it in B tier, not higher, because again, this is the only game that IGN gave a. This is the only Sonic game that IGN gave a perfect 10 out of 10 score to. I understand why some people might place it higher, but the fact that it is kind of in the same vein as Sonic 4, there's not really a lot original about this. It's just they have different names, but it's like, oh, this is Green Hill, this is Chemical Plant, this is Casino Night, this is Hidden Palace Zone, this is Sky Chase type of thing. Takes it down a notch for me ever so slightly, though. This might actually be the bridging game between classic and modern, because when you first fight Eggman, he's got his old 16-bit little jumpsuit on, and then before you fight the last boss, you see him in his SA1 shirt. It's like, oh, this is canon, although it's not, because as TBae the Neo Neko. For some reason there are legal disputes for probably because of it being on the Neo Geo, but its legal entanglement is so bad that Ian Flynn kind of confirmed that when he was writing the Sonic Encyclopedia, they weren't even legally allowed to mention this game by name. Which is, in some ways, it's a shame, because again, it is a fun little platformer. But honestly, if you've played Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles, you've kind of played this game already. So it's Okay, let's get this one out the way. S tier, fucking Sonic Adventure, one of my favorite games ever made, and I 1000% would not disagree with anyone who's saying this is this is nostalgia or this is bias. Yes, completely, because if we're being completely honest, this game kind of belongs down in C tier, because it has not aged amazingly well as other games in this franchise or of this era have. But goddamn, I fucking love this game.
Don't forget, Sonic had a pretty rough transition to 3D.
And this game does feature all of Sonic's shitty friends, trademark. But it's just the way he controls is so good. I love the soundtrack, so much about this game. Again, it's without, and also for personal reasons. Without this game, I literally would not be in this country doing this right now, talking to this Galumba over the internets. So for that reason, I gotta give it S tier. I fucking just it's a game that I don't always go back and play a lot because it's like the more you play it, the more you realize how kind of badly it's aged. But it's something that just in my heart will always be S tier for me. How about you, TJ?
God damn it, I was muted again. I was memeing and saying I was going to put it in D tier because it's the inferior adventure game. But I played it and I liked it, and I'm going to put it in A tier.
That is my answer.
That is my answer.
Okay, Sonic Shuffle. F tier. Completely terrible game.
Just literally just go fuck yourself.
It is. It's pretty much every. It's. I kind of like the so shaded look of it, but aside, and I kind of like the opening intro where it's like it's rendered in cel shaded CG. But it's not a fun game. The fact that in the opening cutscene Sonic wolf whistles at the fairy, I'm like, that's fucking out of character. Sonic would not objectify a woman like that. That's kind of weird. It's a Mario Party clone made by Hudson, the company that made the original, and also the creators of Bomberman. It's not fun. The minigames suck. They're not fun. The AI cheats like a motherfucker. I have never made it past the first board. Playing by myself and like with friends multiple times, never made it past the first board. It is just amazingly bad and not fun to play. I wouldn't be opposed to a sequel. Like, there's going to be a few games on this list where I'm like, this is terrible. But like the core idea of like, a Mario Party ripoff with Sonic with like a card mechanic with cel shaded graphics, make another one. Make a good one next time. But I would welcome a sequel. TJ, you ever played it?
You know what? No, I haven't.
This is shocking to everyone in the group right now. Everyone would have expected there's one game TJ would have played. It's Sonic Shuffle.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. The Sonic Mario Party.
Man, there are so many games on this fucking list. There's too many games on this list. This was a mistake.
Too many games.
Too many games. Okay, let's get this one out of the way.
That's the noise I make when I rank Sonic games.
Okay, C tier. SA2, C tier. Again, this is one where this is probably a big controversial thought about this, or you know what? Okay. You know what? I'm going to go and beat it just because of how fun the Sonic and Shadow stages are. That is the only reason why this gets to be here. I'm going to be honest with you, because I got this like pretty, I think like within a week. I think it came out like within a week of my birthday, whatever year it came out, 2001, whoever what I was. And even playing it for the first time on the Dreamcast, my initial reaction was this is nowhere near as fun as SA1. I missed the hub worlds. I missed being able to choose your character. I'm not gonna say anything that hasn't been said 1,000 times by everyone else, but like the treasure hunting sections are a bit of a step down. Putting Tails in a mech is not something I really like. I think even though the level design is a bit more linear than it was in SA1, I think the camera is worse in this game. I think the fact that there were so many extra moves and stuff to do, but for some reason they've all been tied to the same fucking button, was a tremendously terrible idea because it caused so many deaths. But that's a common thing in the next few Sonic games. Um, Great soundtrack. Can't say a bad word against the soundtrack. Although I think "Open Your Heart" is a better song than "Live and Learn," but that's maybe for another time. It does a lot. It does like a lot of one of those things where like on paper it does a lot of really cool things, but then just in execution, I don't think it holds up. Again, I didn't think it held up amazingly well when it came out. I don't think it's a bad game. I don't think it's terrible or a bad game, but I think. I'm going to be slightly hypocritical here based on what I said about SA1, but I think the fact that this was so many people's first Sonic game is a reason why it's held in such high esteem. Again, SA1 wasn't my first game. Like I remember when Sonic 2 was my first Sonic game, and I remember when Sonic 3 came out. So I've been with this franchise pretty much since the beginning. But again, it's just like I get nostalgia for that, but I don't know. It never really clicked with me the way it has with other people. Granite Mech 617. No, SFT Battle isn't on, but even if Battle was here, I'd still put it there. Because again, it's the only real differences with Battle. It's mostly the multiplayer. Like they did a few changes to the single player, but it's mostly just the multiplayer add-on. Just gave you like more levels and more characters, which is fun. But like that probably wouldn't have affected the ranking here. To be fair, now TJ, obviously this is your favorite. This is the game you tried to defend and failed to at the Great Sonic debate. So defend yourself.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna come clean.
I thought you were gonna stop talking. Then I'm not gonna lie. Just stay silent for 2 hours.
I've never played this game. I just watched to let us play before the debate.
Are you being serious now?
No, you idiot.
I know. Well, the thing is,
what do you think I am, an idiot?
They're wonderful. And when it comes to small business,
yes.
I don't BS. Why? Because cash is king, and it's hard to get. But I have good news. If you had W2 employees during the 2020 and
Continue.
It's too good of a game. That's its only fault, is that it's too good.
It's too good. It's Sonic Adventure too good.
It's got Pump Hill.
Oh, rip Hunted P.
wait a minute, he died?
No, but all of our respect for him died. So yeah,
His career did.
I mean, it
Dude,
is.
he made Sega billions.
It is true that Sega owes him millions of dollars because of his Knuckles raps. Sure, Mr. Hunted P. Where's the eject button? Where would you place SA2, Theodore, on this list?
S tier.
Really?
Super
S tier.
I think you underestimate how much time I put into battle.
Even though you only completed it 4 days before the debate.
Correct.
Sonic Labyrinth, F tier. Terrible game. Not a bad idea. Again, isometric kind of platformer, but again, it's so fucking boring and bad to control. It's just. Again, the story is Eggman goes into Sonic's house when he's sleeping and basically gives him cement shoes, and it's just like, oh, okay, well, I'll just kill him then. What are you, an idiot?
Yeah, seriously.
It's like what's the G in Eggman stand for? Fucking idiot. We'll put this one here again. Secret Rings will go on the Secret Rings tier because it is just the fucking worst game in this franchise. I don't care. Anyway,
Wait,
it's
what?
so fucking bad. The control is so bad. It's just bad. You know what? To get this out of the way, why don't we also do this quickly? I will go through all the ones I have not played. So we got Tales and oh no, that's Tales Skypatrol. I have played Tales Skypatrol, but that was a different game. Rivals. I've never had a PSP, so I've never played either of the Rivals games. Sonic Eraser. I mean, it's I don't even know if that really counts as a game, but I've never played. Never played that. All of these fucking educational games at the bottom here, so I've never. I haven't played Sonic Runners Adventure, but I'll get to Sonic Runners, the base game. Sonic Schoolhouse. Never. Whoa, buddy. Sonic Schoolhouse. Never played. Sega Sonic Bros. I haven't played, but we did record like a mini LP thing for it for FTCR. Going back a little bit. What of these other games have I not played? Sonic EduSoft. I don't know what the fuck that is. You can go in there. Same with Wacky Wars. Never played it, but we did do a video on it for FTCR on the Sonic X Leapfrog. I think just going off a base look, I think that is all the games. Oh, Sonic Jam Gamecom again. Not one I played personally, but we did do a video on it, but I think also neither version of the I apologize. I should have put these in the not played before this began, but I have not played either of the Sonic Pinball Party, but we'll come back. If there's any others, we'll come back to them. Okay, let us go. You know what? This might be a bit fun. People in the chat, why instead of me just going through them, you pick a game on this list and I will rank it. Little Vic Greener, I'm so sorry that you love Secret Rings. You might want to see a doctor about that. Sonic Rush, where are you? Sonic Rush is obviously going in fucking A tier. Absolutely fantastic game. It's it's like during that year, that period of, because I forget if Rush came out in 2005 or 2006. But like, goddamn, man, that was like the best reviewed Sonic game for a while in that time period. It's so good. You could technically say that this is the game that really introduced the concept of the boost before Sonic Unleashed would take it over for 3D. Introduced Blaze the Cat, one of the best characters in the franchise. One of the greatest soundtracks in the franchise. Forgive me, I cannot recall the gentleman's name, but the gentleman who composed obviously the soundtracks for Jet Set Radio, fantastic. What You Need for the final level is such a good soundtrack. Great level design, great gimmick with the two screens being both used for gameplay, which is kind of not very common, at least at that point for those kind of platformers. Just overall, just a really, really fun and amazing game. TJ, you have much interaction with Rush? He's on mute again.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you was.
It's not my fault that you're lagging.
Yeah, it is. It's your fault.
Shut up. I mean, all the interactions I have with Rush are you talking about it.
So TJ loves it as well. It's his favorite game.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Put it in Super S.
The next time
S plus.
The next time we should do a tier list like this, it's just TJ guessing where he thinks these games will go. Okay,
Why don't we just do that for the rest of it?
Chat, what do you guys want? Do you want me to finish this list properly, or do we want to end this list just by having TJ guess where he thinks each one's gonna go? First response to each 5 chats will do it.
Reach 5 chat.
I don't think people understood what I said. Do you guys want to see me legitimately finish this tier list properly, or for the rest of the game should we just have TJ say where he thinks they'll go, because he's only played like 7 games, and I say at least half of them are already in this list at this point.
Yeah, you ain't wrong.
Okay, looks like legit is going. TJ, we will another time, maybe next week, we'll have you just piss about and do these.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay,
Whatever.
okay. Chat. What game should I do next? Woody just says mute TJ for the rest of the stream.
Ouch. Just gonna go ahead and mute them for the rest of the stream.
You can't mute Worthy Jess, who was my first subscriber on this app. Okay, so Flicky.
Just gonna go ahead and
delete everyone. Flicky, you know, I'm going to put it in C tier just because it's a game I've maybe collectively played for about 4 minutes. It's one of those games that would often get put on like compilations, like Mega Collection and like Mega Collection Plush. And I play it for a second, and I'd be like, yeah, you know, it's cute. You know, this is where Flicky came from. It's like, but I don't really know. It seemed fine for like, you know, the few minutes I played of it, but I don't really know it enough. So I think just putting it in C tier kind of covers me on both bases. How about you, Theodore? Ever played Flicky?
yeah, I put a lot of hours into Flicky.
You should see his save file over 200 hours. The most game he's played more than WoW.
Yeah. No, I'm just fucking with you. I've never fucking played Flicky.
Oh, you had me going, TJ. You were so good there.
I fooled you. I made a fool of you. I made you think that I played Flicky.
I cheated you. I cheated all of you. You didn't even notice. Okay, next.
With my convincing acting.
Next game. Okay, in the chat, what game should we go for?
Go for Triple Trouble.
Okay, Triple Trouble. You know, this is... I'm going to cheat somewhat. I'm going to put it in B tier. I haven't played that much Triple Trouble, but I really, really enjoyed the remake I played. And so that's honestly just because, like, the base game had to have something there for one to make someone want to remake it, and for 2 for the remake to be that good. So even though I probably only played like a level or 2 of the original Triple Trouble, it's the remake is just that's the reason why it's so high. Okay, Spider Knife, my boy Spider says Spinball. Okay, you know what? Where is Spinball on this terrible list? Oh, you know what? I don't have the master. The Game Gear version is gonna go not played. Sonic Spinball for the Mega Drive D tier. It's a bad game. I like the soundtrack. It's even I love, and this may negate my opinion to people who legitimately like this game. I fucking love the options music menu. I toyed at some point finding like an 8-hour version of the options music to put it as the background instead of the cat lo-fi, but I thought that might have pushed people away for that. Spider. It's just like I like the idea of like a pinball and platformer, but it's just like it's so the controls aren't good. It's the controls aren't good. It's like it's a very short game. It's only 4 levels long. Um,
4 best levels.
It's Toxic Caves, great fucking music track. I like the intro with the 15 seconds of like Sonic on like not the some like weird longer plane. I think he gets knocked over and just like drowns in the water, and then he jumps up and he like shakes his head to get the water out of him. It's good, but like it's just as a game, it's not fun to play. It's just not fun, and I'm sorry, Spider, but it's not a fun game to play. Okay. AGM somewhere in a closet with a dishwasher. Donnie's having a stroke. Again, Spider is like a lot of the games on this list that I may not enjoy. I agree. Like it's a good idea. Like redo it, make the controls not terrible and the maps not so confusing. And yeah, I'd play a sequel to this. Okay, next game. Pick a game, chat, and then I'll let TJ pick the next one.
No.
Oh, fair enough then. I'm on then.
I don't like chat anymore. They didn't want me to. They didn't want me to guess.
Sonic Boom. Which one? Draw together. Rise of Lyrics, Shattered Crystal, or Fire and Ice? First time chat, Lilac, Tyanyu, that one. Oh, that one over there. Okay, so that one over there. So I guess that one means Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
The one over there. Hey, Sonic, let's go over there.
I'm gonna put it in C tier. It's not a game that I go back to a lot, but it's basically just Puyo Puyo, which is a really fun puzzle game. It's Puyo Puzzle with the only official game representation of a Sonic cartoon. This is entirely Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog branded, which in that regard makes it very unique amongst the franchise. Again, it's not something I go to. I think later versions, especially like Puyo Puyo versus Tetris, it's just better to play as. But if you're looking just for like a Puyo Puyo game with some mild references to like an older version of Sonic the Hedgehog, it's fine. Okay, Theodore, pick one.
Heroes.
Ooh, interesting. Sonic Heroes.
I'm just thinking of the scat version of the theme song.
Bum do bada bum bada bum do bada bum. C. Sonic Heroes is a game on paper I adore the idea of, a 3D throwback to the Mega Drive games. It's back to a 2-act and boss structure. It's got chaos emeralds you can only get through special stages. It's the fact that you can have you can control 3 characters at once is a plus. In some ways, it's an improvement. It kind of takes the adventure gameplay and kind of streamlines it a little bit, makes it a bit, again, makes it more streamlined, but it's just, it's
Don't forget to say it's more streamlined and straightforward.
it is more streamlined and straightforward, but it's so fucking janky. Like, don't ever try and spin dash a Sonic. You just go fucking flying over the fucking edge of the water and die. This is a game I would love a sequel to streamline it a bit more, to just fix a lot of the issues with it, because again, great concepts, fantastic soundtrack. When JJ, what was the name of that terrible anime convention we went to where Crush 40 was there?
Shoot, it started with a T. You talking about the one in Detroit?
Yeah. Because Subasu Con is the crappy West Virginia con.
No, that's no Subasacon.
No, Subasu Con is the one in West Virginia. Subasu Con is.
Are you sure?
Yes, I bet your life on it. I promise you, Subasu Con is the one in West Virginia. Because I still get emails from them every year asking me to sign up to get tickets. Either way, this is, if anyone's ever seen one of my favorite pictures, it's the one where I'm dressed as Mega Man with Jun Sonoy when he signed my copy, because I think this is the, you can tell by the Peggy 3, this is the European version of Sonic Heroes, where the Sonic Heroes font logo, it's like shining, like how in America Sonic Colors had that. Umicon, that's the one. And he'd never seen that, and he was signing the thing, and I forget what prompted me to say it, but I was like, yeah, it's not a very good game. And June laughed and went, ha, but the music's good. And I was like, yes, sir, you are correct. That's my answer. So again, it's just like, it's a Heroes is the poster child for me for games where I would go back to it every 6 months, hoping it, like, something would have changed and it would finally click with me. I will say, though, it's somewhat in the games, the version I grew up with was the PS2 version, which was, without question, the worst version of all three of them. So, like, in that regard, I'm like, maybe if I'd grown up with the GameCube version, which is the version I asked for, but my mother picked up the PS2 version, and instead of waiting, and instead of waiting a few days to get the GameCube version, I was like, well, I want to play it now, and I don't want to have to start over, so I guess I'll just keep playing the PS2 version. So really, for anyone who's mad at this listing, blame my mother, and at the end of the screen, I'll give you her email address. But yeah, at the point, I'm just like, I think, again, give it a sequel, and I would play it a lot more. Okay, chat, pick one. She's SA2, 2 tiers before SA1, sure, buddy. See? AA gets it. The animation anal cis gets it. Chronicles. This might be another somewhat controversial, but I'm going to put it in C. I am going to preface this. My justification for this is pretty much I very, very rarely play RPGs. So like, I really have no basis to put this next to another RPG and be like, oh, you know, like the control here is bad, the mechanics here are bad, and all this stuff. And I'm just like, it's baby's first RPG. I was like, yeah, you know, it's not the worst thing ever. But I think I view C tier as like completely average. Where I'm like, it's not great, it's not terrible. You know, it's got bad things in it. It's like, obviously the music is outside of the battle themes. The soundtrack is, it's pathetically terrible. It's laughably bad. Someone like, you know, it's some stuff like the the flash art cutscenes where like all the characters are like sometimes in insanely different proportions. I'm like, what is this? I didn't mind the gameplay as much. I kind of got somewhat invested in the story. I liked you could. It was made by like it's BioWare. Like I don't think it's not. It wasn't the main BioWare team, but it was like it was a BioWare team. So they had like in the dialogue boxes. This is one of my favorite. I'm not sure if you've ever seen this meme, but there was a running joke in the game where Amy says she is dating someone called Dexter. And so she's no longer interested in Sonic, and then at the end of the game you realize she's lying. But someone made this thing where they took the dialogue boxes, and Amy was like, "This is my I'm dating someone. He's called Dexter." And then they had on the next panel was like an image of Dexter from Dexter's lab, and his dialogue box was just "You are stupid." So
You are stupid.
just based on that, Chronicles gets C tier. But yeah, I would welcome another try at a proper Sonic RPG. Maybe with I don't know, just better. Better. There you go.
You also neglect to bring up the fact that like Chronicles technically ruined Archie Sonic.
Well, that's because like that's such a long detour to talk about. I was purposely just gonna. It is an important thing because there was concepts in the game like Shade and her tribe, which Penders was like they stole that idea from me, which goes into the lawsuit with him suing Sega and. I guess Sega and EA, because maybe EA owns BioWare, I'm not sure, which in turn led Archie to sue him, which caused Archie to immediately stop using anything remotely to do with Penders, which is why we lost like Scourge and all that stuff. But it's I still have like 30 games at least here to rank, and I do not have the time or energy to go into a Penders spiel. So again, I miss, and I know Jono does, I think you do to an extent, miss doing Sonic Says, so maybe one day we'll get, we can get you and Jono on here, and we can just bullshit about the comics again for a little bit. But I don't really want to go into more about Penders. I'm really
Go more independents. Go more independents.
I'm really trying with this new era of me doing social of all this stuff to be a bit more positive than last time. So like I kind of don't want to talk about.
Go fuck yourself.
Frankenmutt, Gareth's Kuta reference in BSC lives rent free in my head. I know the person you're referring to. I don't remember what that reference was. Sausadak, welcome. CD is in C tier. The first one of C tier. Okay, TJ, pick a new game.
Adventure 3.
I mean, Advanced 3, okay. Sonic Advance 3.
No, I meant Unleashed.
Oh, I thought you were talking about. I thought you were making an 06 joke. You want to do Unleashed. Oh, you know what? You know what's weird? Oh, okay. Do you want me to do the HD version or the Wii version?
Unleashed. Do Unleashed.
Unleashed. Frankly, I do not remember what my reference was, but I'm glad it lives rent free in your head. Unleashed. Okay. B tier. Sonic Unleashed for the Wii/PS2. Fun game. It's stripped out. It's obviously a toned down, stripped out, more streamlined, if you will, version of its HD counterpart. But even though I like things like hub worlds in games, the fact that that's not there means you can just get the gameplay quicker. There is still the the ratio of Sonic the Werehog is still leans more heavily in the Werehog side, but because some of the levels are more mission based, you do get you do you know in the HD version you just play like you play Atabat Day, and that's it. In the HD version, in the Wii version, you normally have like you play the Atabat Day main level, and then you have a bunch of like mission based, but like do this level without hitting any pots, or without collecting rings, without getting hit, blah blah blah. So it kind of gives you more context for that. I will say the final boss is a lot better, I think, especially the bit before the supersonic fight. Instead of when you're Chip controlling the Gaia temples, you have to like charge towards Dark Gaia and then like punch him once. In the Wii version, you're basically playing Punch Out, just with a giant temple and a giant gremlin monster. So just in that regard, it's pretty fun. Great soundtrack. Also the Werehog version, it's I've always said I think my favorite. Unleashed Wii has two of my favorite Werehog levels across either version. One of them I think it's in Shunnan, the one where you're climbing up a waterfall. And Eggman Land has 5 Werehog stages, and the second to last one is entirely in a 2D perspective, which is unique. Little bit greeny, yes, the Gaia Temple music, which only the beginning of it do you hear in the HD version, because it plays at the starts of the cutscene where Sonic and Chip find the Gaia Temple, I believe in Adabat. But the Gaia Temple theme is just this amazing like piano rendition of the World Adventure. It's just so good. Yeah. Okay, next game. Chat, you get the pick. And while you do that, I am just going to quickly put all of the handheld versions of these Olympic games in not played, because I ain't never touched none of the Olympic versions. No, you know Secret Rings, Mao, and Sonic at the Olympic games. Animation, Anosys, Sonic and the Black Knight. That is going squarely in B tier. I really like this game. I'm not crazy enough to put it in the A tier because it obviously it has its problems, but it being a sequel to this pile of trash, it is possibly one of the greatest sequels of all time.
This fucking garbage.
It improves so much. The fact that Sonic is not constantly running, you can control him. It does so much to improve the game. I think I like having the previous game be like Arabian theme fits perfectly for that game. So it's a nice aesthetic. I think the Black Knight works a bit better, being a bit more Sonic-y. Obviously, it being based in England, and I'm English. Obviously, best game I've made. Fantastic soundtrack. Jun, I think, is one of Jun Sonoi's best soundtracks as sound director. The fact that we got like 5 original Crush 40 songs, which is still the most from any game ever. It's and this is something I don't really touch upon with Sonic, but like it's got a really good story. I really like how Sonic is characterized in this. There's moments where he's told like, to save the day, you're gonna have to murder someone, and it's just like, fucking hey, let's do it, let's go, boys. Like, I love that. Sonic should be up for murdering more people in all these games. Live life, Night of the Wind.
Bloodlust.
Need I say more? Exactly. Also, because it's revealed that King Arthur isn't even a real person, but still, like, Sonic should murder more people. He should be okay. Like, when he's told that, and his response is, I guess I can't be the hero every time. That's so fucking good. Like, it's really good. I love the cutscenes. Again, the Secret Rings. I kind of glossed over Secret Rings, but I'll talk about it a bit here. It takes the Secret Rings cutscene idea of like the still images, but does it better, so where they look better. The colors are more bright, and there's more movement, so it kind of looks like a cheap animation. Zachary0072 also says, without question, Jason Griffith's best performance is Sonic the Hedgehog. Like I would also probably put, if we're just ranking all the individual performances as Sonic, Jason's still, he's either first or I might have to give it more time. Roger in Frontiers may have surpassed it, but I really love how Jason plays Sonic in this game. So good. TJ, have you played Black Knight Secret Rings?
I played it on iOS.
How did it work? Was it good?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
wait. Were those really on iOS?
No. They're like only on Wii.
It sounded like you want it.
Smithers, I'm home. You're back already? Yes.
Yes. Because you don't know what Cesar Romero looks like.
Okay, TJ, pick a game.
Oh, Jesus. It's a lot of pressure. Fuck it, 06.
Okay, I was 6. D tier. I mean, it's not as bad as going into an F tier, but like it's not.
Jesus Christ, you fucking apologist. You fuck.
What?
I can't believe you sell out. You shill for Sonic. You would be a Sonic apologist if you ran over your own.
It's the best game ever made, baby. Like, no, that's
Silver the Hedgehog.
Silver the Hedgehog. Best character made. I mean, again, it's like there's nothing I can say about it.
That's not the Iblis trigger. That's Sonic.
That's not the water inspector. It's like what can you say about it at this point? You know, everything's been said. Fantastic soundtrack. It's
Forgive them, Shadow the Hedgehog. They know not what they do.
It features Shadow being crucified in a game. That's always a welcome turn. Has a 19-year-old girl who tries to commit suicide, and Sonic's like, "Good, that was a pretty gutsy move. Good job, girl." It's like, okay, maybe it's not. I will say though, that's why I really want, and I was really bummed that my laptop cannot play Project 06 correctly, because again, it's like you can see like the kernel of, and I won't go crazy and say great game, but you can see the kernel of like if they would have had more time to polish and refine like Project 06 has done, you can kind of see what they were going for, and that's why I won't give it an F tier, because like it is the gaming industry's punching bag, and has been for the last 15 years. But like I guarantee you, nobody on the team wanted to release it in the state it was at, you know. So like it's. Yeah. Also, you know what? Also,
emotion.
Wait.
Go
to emotion. I'm gonna say this. All right. This is the jokes about this game that everyone keeps repeating over and over again when they're like, Sonic kissed the princess, bestiality, ha ha ha. No, all right. No. That is completely wrong, and it's dumb, and it's a bad joke. Because at that point, Sonic's basically dead, and Elise kisses him. So it's not Sonic kisses a human girl, he's into bestiality. It's Princess Elise kissed the hedgehog's corpse, she's a necrophiliac. That's the correct version of that joke. So stop with the bestiality shit. It's necrophilia. That's the correct way to make a joke about that. But anyway, you know, again, if you want
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Again,
I don't know about that.
Go for a lot of these. Just like go watch.
I don't know about that.
I made for a lot of these to get like more views, especially for this one. Go watch like the FD Show LP or like the HFC one if that's still online. Like go and You know, because again, especially with this one, it's like, it's what else is there to say about that? Okay, you picked that one, so chat, you get to pick my next one. Unleashed HD. Okay. Fuck it. B tier. Without question, it is the even to this day, it is the Sonic the Hedgehog game that had the biggest budget behind it. And you can really tell that, especially in things like the environments and the light. You know, it's still one of the greatest. That's why we came up with the joke hashtag Elise's art, because of how good this game looks. You know, it introduced the boosting mechanics, which was fun gameplay style, even for this day. Great soundtrack and endless possibilities. One of my favorites Sonic songs in the entire franchise.
No, it isn't.
You're right. It's not. It's terrible. Dear My Friend was a song that after my grandmother died, I would listen to a lot. So now I hope teacher feels bad. But it's like the Werehog is like, it's a really good idea with the Werehog, I feel like his control is pretty good, but I feel like his level design is all terrible because a lot of it is it's just having him like climb up really boring towers and then sit in a room. You have to fight people and then, you know, rinse and repeat, and it's just like, okay, yeah, Adam Bomb. In that intro, that 6-minute CGI cutscene, I would pay money to watch that on like a cinema. Just that 6 minutes. It's so good. Fast 8 Wild are the games ordered within the tiers. Not really. The way I'm looking at them, you know what? I would probably put out, because there's at least more content in that for C tier. That's gonna annoy people. I know for a fact me putting Sonic 4 above Sonic CD is gonna piss off a lot of people.
That's why you did it.
Okay, yeah, I think that's pretty good. Okay, TJ, pick something.
Mega Man 8.
Okay, Mega Man 8. Let's see. Really good. I'm gonna put that in B.
S tier.
S tier.
What's Lost World?
Ooh, interesting. Okay, where are you? Sonic Lost World.
It's not interesting. I'm just trying to think of Sonic games that you haven't done yet.
Wii U or 3DS version?
Wii U.
Okay. C tier. It's a game where, like a lot of things it's very to me applicable to Heroes. It's a game where on paper I like a lot of the ideas. I think the implementation is just not very good. Like the parkour system, great idea for a Sonic game. I don't think it works very well. I know I've seen some people who know how to use like the parkour and the spin dash to like really traverse the stage correctly, but like I just never been able to get it good. I don't think I think the 2D is, when you controlling him in 2D, is too slippery. So many times I will jump to like and try and land on a small platform and land and like be a bit slippery and walk off and fall off. So I don't think it's very tight. It needs to be more streamlined. I like the art style. I think it's still going for like, it's like if the 16-bit games were really cartoony. The art style is fine. Soundtrack, pretty decent soundtrack. I don't think it's either the franchises or Tomio Otani one of his bests, but it's still there's still some really good stuff in it. The Zelda DLC, fucking amazing. That's probably one of the best moments in. If the Zelda DLC was its own separate thing, that would get A tier. To be honest with you, Deadly Six. I like the idea of introducing new villains, but they're all just pathetically terrible boss fights that like. You can defeat some of them in just 2 hits, so it's like, why are you here? Again, more could have been done with the story. Hashtag Tails gets angry for some reason. But yeah, I think C, it's average. It's not. My son really loves it, so it's one that I end up either playing or watching him play quite a bit. But yeah, so it's Lost World. Okay, chat, now it's your turn to pick. Colors. Okay, Atom Bomb. We have colors. Do we have both versions of colors here? Or is it just...
Lures.
Well, I know for some of these they have the handheld. Oh, there you go. So, Wii or DS? Atom Bomb 2002. Wii or DS? Well, that wasn't who I was asking, but sure, okay. AGM, I'll do colors DS. I will. I'm gonna put colors DS in B tier, but I'm gonna put it pretty high. Okay, B tier. It is essentially Sonic Rush 3. Made by Dimps. It controls. It pretty much just is a third Rush game, just without Blaze the Cat, and adopting the aesthetic and story of Sonic Colors from the Wii. It's really good. It's really fun. Yesterday, as I was driving my son to school, I just randomly put on and listened to on a loop the special stage theme. Because it's one of the best music tracks in the franchise that is overlooked because it's connected to a game that is in some ways lesser version of that. It doesn't get hopped up as much. But it's just, if you like Sonic Rush and Rush Adventure, you're gonna really like Sonic Colors, and I love both of those games. So I thought Colors was. I will say I don't think. Level design is pretty good. There's maybe a few too many bottomless pits. One thing I do enjoy. One thing I do think that Colors DS has over the Wii version. Well, one, it's got a supersonic final boss fight with the Mother Wisp. But when you fight the final fight with Eggman, you have to knock out each Wisp and then use them all against him, which I like that because in the Wii version, as we'll talk about maybe in a little bit. You don't have that. He may not even use all the different Wisp power-ups. So it's like, I don't know. Little bit greener. Good night. Sleep well. Good sir. Oh man, I forget. Greener. You're good. Good. Okay, TJ, pick one.
Oh, damn it. Oh, shit. Hold on. I don't know. I've used them all up.
When you've used them all up, there's like 50 games left to pick.
Like all the games I know. I only played 8. I only know 10.
Well, just look at the screen and just pick one. They're all here.
Well, scroll down.
I have.
There we go. Okay. There's a delay, goofball. Mania.
highest of A tier. I know this is gonna get rough for a few fellas. It ended up being an S tier, but such an amazing game. Such like it's so fucking good. I will say the only thing that in my that keeps it from being S tier, which I should have said this at the beginning. I am purposely trying to limit the amount of S tiers I do, because really, like,
You bitch.
pretty much, but really, like
Put every game in S tier, you coward. Put Sonic 06 in S tier.
Sonic Labyrinth in S tier. The only
Sonic Shuffle in S tier.
S for shuffle. What are you, stupid? I think the problem is, as you can see here, it lives in the shadow of 3 and K a bit too much. Like a lot of it is just it. And I mean no disrespect, but it feels like a fan game in some ways, because the foundation is you know, 3 and Knuckles, the the menus, the save states, the zone title cards. No, maybe not the zone title cards, but like just so much of it is just. It feels like maybe like an expansion pass, if that makes sense. Also, yes, Metallic Madness. If Metallic Madness wasn't in this, maybe it would get S tier. But yeah, that is not a zone I care for that much. But it is. Again, if I did this tomorrow, this may be an S tier, because it is. I would not question anyone putting Mania in S tier. The controls are so good. Finally gave us like a decent playable Knuckles and Tails and Mighty and Ray for the first time in God knows how long. It's such. I talking about it is almost making me want to put it in S tier myself, because it is such just an amazing game. But I think
Put it in S tier, you coward.
but I think a lot of the reused content, and I don't just mean the zones. I'm talking about stuff like all of the fucking blue spheres. Like why bring blue spheres back? It's stuff like that. And also they put Oil Ocean in it. Worst game ever made.
Put it in S tier. Oil Ocean, baby.
Baby. So TJ, how about you? Where would you...
give Oil Ocean its own tier? Every game that features Oil Ocean.
It's just 2. Sonic. If I removed Rush, this could be the Oil Ocean tier.
I would rank Mania pretty high. I actually finished it, so that's a plus for it. I almost had a stroke when I found out that Oil Ocean was in it. That was great. The soundtrack is incredible. I still listen to it at least like once a month.
Same.
Yeah, I put it in S, baby.
Hey JJ, there you go. Just for you.
Hey, baby. Oil Ocean, baby.
Has Oil Ocean's own tier, Mania and Sonic 2. Okay. And I Rush being an S tier, I'm fine with anyway. So yeah, that works for me. Okay, chat. Pick a game. I think some of these we'll be able to get through a lot quicker, because like a lot of like these Game Gear ones and mobile games, there's not really much to say about, to be honest with you. Riders, where are you, Riders? Okay.
Valentine's Day.
You know what? I'll in the interest of speeding up some time, I'm going to put both the first 2 Riders game in D tier, and I am going to put 3 Riders in F tier. 3 Riders is an abomination. The Kinect was a terrible device, and it's almost unplayable. Riders 1 and 2,
Because you're bad at it doesn't mean it's unplayable.
Yes, it does. Shut up. Well, that actually leans into Riders 1 and 2. I do not have a lot of fun with these games. I feel there's a very kind of steep learning curve for using the boards effectively. Um, and to be fair, from what I've been told by, because these at least the first two games do have um, like a dedicated like cult fan base, and I guess if you can like figure out how all the mechanics work, apparently it's a very very interesting and fun and competent racing game. But I just
Yeah, if
that's
that's a big if.
that's the thing. Like I never finished Sonic's. I played Riders a bit. I was just very bad at it. I was never that good. I didn't put too much time in Zero Gravity. But for the first one, it for me it commits the cardinal sin. One of the cardinal sins I absolutely despise in video games. I got to the sand level in in Team Sonic story mode, and I could never I could never finish the race. But in context of the story, basically Jet cheats and like knocks Sonic off his board, and so he loses that race anyway. And I'm like, if in terms of the story, you cannot technically win that race, do not fucking make me have to win it then. I fucking hate that idea. It's so annoying. Really good soundtrack. It's a lot more techno based. I love the song for Riders 1, Sonic Speed Riders, and Zero Gravity. Ungravitify is great. The Zero Gravity version of Catch Me If You Can, really, really good. Babylon Rogue was great characters. I'd like to see them return in a non-racing game. And again, like the proportions that they gave the Sonic characters a specific style in these games, not just like like the glasses and like the different shoes, but like they have very different proportions. The animation's a lot more cartoony, kind of funny in some spaces. So like I kind of dig the writing in some of these, but it's just I don't have a good time with them. Okay, TJ, your choice next.
God damn it. Generations.
HD or 3DS?
Motherfucker. HD.
Okay.
HD.
Because we no longer have an A tier and just has Oil Ocean Zone tier, Generations is gonna go an S. Fan fucking tastic game. When they first revealed the trailer where it was Modern Sonic running and then Classic came out, it's just holy shit, this is amazing. Really, really, it's just fucking. I love it. It's fucking fun. Fantastic soundtrack. It's in some ways though. It's like. In some ways, it's somewhat on because it's the whole of the game is using the franchise as a blueprint, so it's very different than say when they made Sonic Adventure or like Colors or what have you. But it's just like because obviously they're looking back at the franchise and they're putting things from different games and different levels. So in some regard, like it's not exactly entirely original, but it's like at this point in the franchise, this was like one of, if not the best 3D game entirely. It was so tight. Like modern Sonic controlled so well in terms of the boost and the boost style. Classic Sonic, while not the one-to-one of the Mega Drive games that Mania would be, still leaps and bounds ahead of things like Sonic 4 and other like recent 2D game. Even like Sonic Rush is a game I love, but like the physics and the momentum on Classic at all, you know. But it's so fun. Chemical Plant Act 2 is one of my favorite levels in the entire franchise, especially for the music. Jun Tsunoi's remix is just makes my dick hard every time. Actual good bosses, with the exception I would say of Time Eater. Pretty much all the bosses in this game are actually fun. which is again is not really something that Sonic games are known for, and it is just.
I don't know about that.
Well, have you even finished the game?
Egg Dragoon is
Egg Dragoon's fun.
Egg Dragoon is fucking horrible.
Egg Dragoon's what are you talking about? It's fun.
Yeah, like I could never beat it.
That sounds like a you problem. Get good, loser. But yeah, you know, I'm gonna put.
So much for the positive left.
Well, being nice to you doesn't count.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna move generations there. Okay. Okay, chat. Pick a game. Also, Generations, terrible story, but like, who really goes to a Sonic game for story?
Like it. Oh, perfect. There should be another tier that's like, this game has Vector the Crocodile in it. Is Chaotix on the list?
Yeah, Kiox is there. Spider Knife, we already did Mean Bean Machine. Wait, is Mean Bean Machine on here twice?
I don't remember you doing Mean Bean Machine.
Yeah, it's there, it's in C tier. It's Puyo Puyo.
I don't remember you doing it.
Oh, do it again then.
Okay, do it again. Do it again.
Drawn Together has Sonic Jump. Okay, you know what? Sonic Jump I'm gonna put in. I feel like the mobile game should have their own tier, but
My name is Gareth. I love Mean Bean Machine.
accurate. I'll put jump. I'll put jump at the height of C tier. It's a basic iPhone jumping game, but it's really basic and addictive. You know, it's really fun to play. Nice.
Is that probably your favorite mobile game?
No, that is probably Runners, which we'll get to in a little bit. It's nice and fun. It's got really good art. It's sprite based, but all of the sprites are like they look like stills from 3D games, so like this. But it's just fun. It's just fun. If you're taking a shit and need to pass some time, you could do worse than playing Sonic Jump. That is my answer. Okay, Theodore, pick one.
That is my answer. Generations for the 3DS.
Generations for the 3DS. I'm putting this at the end of B tier. It is a game where, and I know this is not an excuse, and it really shouldn't be taken into effect, but they made this game in 9 months, and for that, I'm like, that's pretty impressive. Especially for the fact that if you wanna break it down, technically 3DS Classic Sonic has momentum closer to the HD counterpart. It falls down a little bit in the sense that there's not as many levels, and especially for Green Hill, Chemical Plant, and Mushroom Hill, the Act 1s are just one for one what they were in the original. So like Green Hill and 3DS is real short, so much so that in Mushroom Hill they kept there is a save point 5 seconds before the end of the level, because in the original Mushroom Hill there's a boss there. In the 3DS version there's not, but they still put a save point in case you happen to randomly die 2 seconds before the end of the level. Really good music. June's Mushroom Hill is so fucking good. It made Egg Emperor playable as opposed to in Heroes. Again, the time meter, it's a little, it's like a little better than it is in a HD version, but that's not really saying much. It is also like classic being given the home run attack after you clear the classic era, and the fact that even modern is played from a 2D perspective. It is just kind of like, why are they both 2D? Like, how are we really, especially when one gets the home run attack, how are they really separated at all? But it's fun. It's not amazingly deep or dynamic, but it's a fun game, and I would say it's a good game. So that's why it puts it in B tier. I does. Okay, chat. Let's pick some games. Wii colors. Okay.
Coolers.
S tier. Fucking love this game. I will say though, if it wasn't for the fact that we turned A tier into Has Oil Ocean Zone tier, I might have put colors. I might have put colors in A.
So I'm killing two birds with
One
one stone.
stone,
Putting my
baby.
games at putting my games at the top and making you put more shit in S tier. Let's fucking go.
Phenomenal. Like, AGM brings up a good point. Sonic Colors Ultimate left a bad taste in my mouth. So much so that it kind of retroactively has made me think a little bit less of the original game. But regardless of that, it's so fucking good for me. But although you know what, I gotta.
No, I don't know what. Tell me. Please tell me.
It's F tier because Sonic Colors is too fucking political. But it's like I love how it controls. I love the aesthetics. Like Tropical Resort is just like the ideas they came up with. Tropical Resort, Aquarium Park, which apparently since Sonic 1 they wanted to put Sonic in some kind of like, Japanese water facility, and Asteroid Coaster. Bosses are fun. I really like the story. I like the dialogue. I thought it was a good after like Unleashed. I thought it was a very good relatively small contained story with just Sonic and Tails. First game with Roger Craig Smith and Kate Higgins. I think all of the voice actors knock it out of the park. It's really fun. It's just, I'll keep it in F tier for the joke, but like it's really, really good game that deserved a much better remaster. Okay, TJ, it's your turn.
Did you do Lost World 3DS?
No, I did not.
Okay, do that one.
Okay. D tier. It's bad. It's not fun. That's my answer. It is the first Dimps handheld actually 3D game. So in that regard, give it a bit of props. Like with Colors DS, it has some original music tracks specifically for the special stage. Really, really. The only it's notorious for things like the snowball level and the special stage. The only reason why it's not an F tier is because I think it controls pretty good, and I think some of the earlier opening levels like Windy Hill are kind of fun, and the bosses are actually harder than the Wii U version. So for that reason, that's why it's not 100% irredeemable like the two political Sonic Colors, but it's not a game I would recommend anyone actually ever fucking play. Okay, chat. Pick a game.
Pick a Jerry.
Okay, we got 2 for Chaotix. D tier. Not a fun game. Great visuals, great animation, great pixel work, funky soundtrack and everything. I like the characters. They're all really defined in terms of their look and their animations and their move sets. But it's just Zachary 00720. It's just fucking boring. The level design, it's like CD. It's a slightly more vertical platformer, but it's boring, and the rig mechanic, it's okay. It doesn't work amazingly well, I don't think, and a lot of times I end up just getting lost. So it's it's just not fun. The only everyone keeps talking about it being ported and everything, and I'm like, I don't think it's gonna get new life. But the only reason why I think that might, if they went the Origins and gave it like a proper remaster, maybe getting more screen space might make it more play like it kind of helped with CD. It might actually help you see where you're going a bit more, and it might actually make it a bit better. And as Dimitri points out, yes, one of the best things about Chaotix is that it gave the franchise and the world Dawn to Summer, which is one of the best music tracks in the franchise. Okay, TJ, your pick.
Sonic Sega All-Stars Racing Game Unleashed.
Oh,
It's called.
The one with
Danica Patrick.
Oh, I was gonna joke you meant the one with Banjo Kazooie, as it says here, featuring Banjo Kazooie. But we'll go Transformed. We'll go Transformed. I'm gonna put it in B tier. Again, was this tier not commandeered by All Ocean? I would put it in A tier. It's a really good, and I'm not one for racing games because I'm really not good at them. But it's a really fun kart racer. The gimmick of transforming into either a boat or an airplane is so good. The fact that so many of the tracks have unique laps, like again, Mario Kart, great game, but for most levels it's the same track every single time. As AA points out, I think this All-Stars Racing Transformed is better than, we'll call it, vanilla Mario Kart 8. Obviously Deluxe goes past that, but Mario Kart 8, even in its vanilla version, is more polished. Like, it runs at 60 frames, it looks a bit better, everything's a bit more stable. But just in terms of content, All-Stars Racing Transformed it does so much. Like, it has not a story, they call it career mode, where like you have to do different missions based on different tracks. It's just so much fun. Again, the only reason why it's not an S tier is because they keep giving Sonic the center mouth. So fucking terrible game, 0 out of 10. But no, this is like, I would love this to get ported to modern consoles. Make it 60 FPS. Maybe turn down the difficulty a bit for some of the career mode stuff, because that can get really hard. It's a lot harder than like a Mario Kart game, but like, I would welcome this to be ported. Well, Frank and Matt, no issue. I think the rain may be messing stuff up on my side as well, but thank you so much for joining, and hopefully we'll see you. I'm going to be streaming again tomorrow, so hopefully you'll be here tomorrow. Okay, chat. We have like 30 more games. Let's try and bust through a bunch of them.
Holy shit.
Okay, I might start doing some of these in series, so if someone wants to like lump a few of these together, I can bust them out. Time for me to bust the breakout. Was it? What's the thing?
Breakout?
No, what's the thing we used to say? Time for me to bust out my main.
Yeah.
Bust out my main.
Time for me to bust out my second main.
Okay. All the Sonic Boom games.
Okay.
Okay then. Okay. All the Sonic Boom games. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna list them.
Okay.
Okay. So here's the
All right.
wave.
Okay. That's a pretty sweet art. No fires and missiles.
But I am not tired. Okay, take it. Then fire some missiles. Where did you? Okay, I'm gonna bust through these. Sonic Boom, Rise of the Lyric. I'm putting it at the lowest of C tier, because I have to. Because if you remember, I prefer Rise of Lyric over 06, so I have to keep it higher than that. I also like, and this, it's like I don't know why, but I didn't hate Rise of Lyric. I completely understand and get why people hate it and why they, you know, some people may put it on like a D or an F tier. But I didn't. I mean, obviously, it is. It goes without saying. It is unpolished. It is janky. It should never have been released for the Wii U. I 1000% agree with all of that. But I kind of clicked with just the core gameplay of it. You know, again, it's unpolished and it needed to run at a consistent frame rate, for Christ's sakes. But I liked the the gameplay loop of the combat was simple, but I kind of had fun with it. I liked like the Metal Sonic and the Shadow boss fights, and I thought the boss fights were kind of good. I guess in this regard, I kind of am a Rise of Lyric apologist. Shattered Crystal again. I think Shattered Crystal. I think
You're a monster.
I'm a monster. Your history's greatest monster. I think Shattered Crystal is a fine game. Again, that's why it's in C, because it's like basically a Metroidvania. It's a fine. I like all the characters. They were. I liked it. You know, I thought it was a. I 100%ed it, which is not something I can say for most of the games on this list. Again, I see the problems with it. It's a bit too, for a Sonic game. It's a bit too slow. Some of the level design isn't the greatest. Same with things like bosses, and the soundtrack's a bit forgettable. But again, I genuinely think it's a fine game. It's not. It's, you know, I mean, even when they first came out, like obviously the reviews for Rise of Lyric, everyone pretty much trashed it. But it's Shattered Crystal got decent-ish, with nothing outstanding. They got like decent reviews. I think C tier works for me. Again, Fire and Ice. It took everything that worked about Shattered Crystal, fixed things about it, removed some of the things that didn't work. Like, you know, all of the bosses are a lot better. They got fully voiced, fully animated cutscenes, which is something that the first game didn't have. It's kind of in canon with the cartoon series, because the new villain, Defect, gets featured in his own episode of season 2, written by Pontac and Graff, the writers of Fire and Ice. It's a fun game. The Fire and Ice gimmick, it's kind of superficial, but it works. I just like it. I think it's of the 3 of these games, I would without hesitation recommend Fire and Ice to anyone, because I think it is a really fun 2D Metroidvania style platformer.
You've said that so much it's lost all meaning.
That is, I do say that about every game, you know. Sonic Spinball is a pretty underrated Metroidvania type game. I like it. It's good. Okay, Theodore, pick, if you want to pick some maybe in a group that we can bust through in a little bit.
What's the on my mind? I gotta wait for the stream to catch up so
God.
I can see the. Do the Olympic Games.
You fucker, alright. Again, I have not played any of the handheld versions or any of the Rio 2016, so those went straight to there. But,
I do have to go when you're done ranking these.
okay,
These games specifically.
okay. So hard because they all play the same.
I'm so glad I did this.
Okay. I put most of them in C tier, and I put the most recent one in B tier. The mini game compilations, they work fine. The first one is the lowest because it uses the franchise the least. This is pretty much just a kind of generic Olympic game with Mario and Sonic in it. Like it's, they don't, aside from like some music, they don't really do much with the world concepts. These ones, specifically the first Olympic game and London, really used, this is Mario and Sonic to its advantage. With each release, the games get like a little bit more better, for lack of a better word. The reason why the Tokyo 2020 is in lowest B tier is just because I think the story mode really sets it apart. It's a really fun little thing. It has original things like Sonic chasing down a bullet train. You get to see Eggman and Bowser working together. You get a bunch of like retro sprite-based events. Which just if this one had more dream events, which the first Olympic game introduced, it would be higher. Because they're just fun. Really, I think a lot of people just like these because normally when these come out, there's going to be some good remixes of both franchises, which works out. But yeah, they're fine. I put these ones in the higher end of C tier because like they're fine, competent, fine games. I just don't really find myself going back to minigame compilations that much. But with that, TJ, I still got, how many? I've got 2, 4, 6, 8. I still got a shitload more. But yeah, you go. I will. You can watch the VOD tomorrow, and I'm gonna quiz you on where I place everything.
Okay, bye.
Bye. And again, maybe next week we can. Oh, okay, he dropped out. I was gonna say maybe next week we can have him just rank where he thinks they'd go. But okay, in the chat again, why don't we? Oh, of course, Adam Bum. Well, you know what? I'm gonna lump the Olympic game in with other mobile games. So why don't we start lumping some of these together? So what should we do next? Ooh, the mobile games. Okay, then Zachary. Oh, the mobile games. Okay. Okay. Sonic Jump Fever. It's like Sonic Jump was like this kind of nice, like small, quaint little game, and Sonic Jump Fever was like, let's make it super in your face and shit. I didn't play Jump Fever much. I just remember not liking it as much as the original Jump. So that's why I placed it a bit lower than that. The original Dash beat it. It's not a unique game. It's basically an endless runner, but they've updated it so much over the. I got it when it came out, and it cost a couple bucks to get. And I remember paying that $2, and after like 15 minutes, I was like, kind of wish I had those $2 left. But after they've updated it, they've really the main thing they've done is that they toned down the difficulty. Used to be like real hard to get very far at all. Again, I don't mess around with these mobile games much anymore, but like Dash was a lot of fun. Sonic Boom, Sonic Dash 2, Sonic Boom. It's like a stripped down version of Dash. It's fun, you know. It's not much to say. It's basically just like Dash, but it's a bit simpler. It's fun. Forces Battle. It's good for fucking messing around for a few minutes. Yeah, it's so hard to rank these because they're just the games I haven't really put much effort. Oh, I forgot one though. I did forget one. The original Sonic Runners. I am. I'm gonna put Runners gets to go in B. I'm gonna put it above Dash. I thought Runners was really fun. It's such a simple gameplay loop. Fantastic sound. Like I think even Tomio Otani has pointed out himself. It's like one of his favorite soundtracks. He's made it so fucking good. Do you have a piece of music that just speaks to you? Like you don't know why, and it's not a song. It's just pure music, and it just speaks to you. End of the Summer is that for me. Like that piece of music is so fantastic. I remember I specifically on the way to the hospital when my son was gonna be born. Before I got there, I played "End of the Summer" because it's a with a title like "End of the Summer." Obviously, it's gonna evoke some emotions of passage of time, and it's the end of the summer, so gotta go back to school. So things change, things won't be the same, and I just felt like that's just something I knew was gonna happen when I'm about to be a father, and I just kind of on the way to the hospital, just let that music track specifically just kind of like wash over me. Like from this point on forward, my life will never be the same. And it's that music kind of expresses that feeling way better than I am explaining it now, because I'm sure sounding like a moron, but such a fucking good sound. And it was just fun. This was also a game where they had so many deep cuts. Like you could have like Caliburn and the Mother Wisp, and they just had a bunch of things from the series history with you. It was such a shame we got D-list. And I know it's what was it? Sonic Runner's Adventure. Is it like the version I guess they came out with, which is basically the same game but worse? But like it's so annoying. This is the one mobile game that was made by Sonic Team directly, which is why you have that awesome Otani soundtrack. And it's a shame that Sega went in for this needs to be a like a microtransaction game. I would have from what I understand, Runner's Adventure is just you pay $5, here it is. I wish Runners was just pay $5, here it is, because it's such a fucking fun game. Oh, I think I also put Sonic at the Olympic Games. It's fine, great sound. Great sound. Most of it is just remixes, but sometimes in terms of the music, it's like it's crazy how just add in something can improve a song for you. Because like this features the third version of a piece of music from Lost World called Boss. I'm not sure if you guys remember in Lava Mountain Act 1 where you fight, you fight Zaz, Zomom, and Zik, and it plays a piece of music called Boss Rushes, and it's basically just an orchestral version of the Deadly Six theme. And then in Lava Mountain Act 3, when you fight Zor, Xena, and Zavok, it plays, it's called Boss Rushes, in parentheses, guitar version. It basically just plays an electric guitar over Boss Rushes. in Olympic Games, there's a boss battle against Zaz, which just takes Boss Rush's guitar version and adds a drum over it, and it's so fucking good. And it's like that is a better version of what there was a World Adventure remix in one of the previous Olympic Games where they just took the 3.5 minute the World Adventure orchestral theme from Unleashed, performed by the Tokyo Philharmonic Orchestra, I believe, and added like a drum and bass beat over it, and it didn't really work very good, at least in my idiotic opinion. But like drum, guitar, but Zaz's theme in Sonic at the Olympic Games is that idea done correctly. So I think we've done this. Okay, you know, I am just going to start pumping some of these out. I almost feel... Dimitri, yes, making a list, or ranking the soundtracks is something I definitely want to do at some point. I almost feel like there should be as well as not played, there should just be a tier list that says like played for 2 minutes. Because it's like I don't really like Tails Adventure. I don't really know how to rank it. You know, it's okay. You know, we're gonna. Can I add one? I'm gonna add one. I'm gonna add a row above. That is called played for 5 mins tier. And I am just gonna bust these out. That's not a good font for that. So we're gonna make you, yeah, we'll make you the same color as that one. Okay. This is the played for 5 minutes tier. Tails Adventure, great. I love the idea of Tails having a solo game that's good. We'll get to the other one in a moment. It's a game I really want to sit down and play properly, because from all accounts it's a fun game. You know, it's just, I guess it used to be in the canon. This used to take place before even Sonic 1, I believe, and now it's, you know, I think Ian Flynn has said the Game Gear games take place after the Mega Drive games do. But it's one that I might, thanks to Sonic Origins Plus, I might, you know, spend some time going through it. Sonic 2, I'm gonna put the low on C tier, because it's I grew up playing the Master System version, which is without question the superior version, just because you can see more of it. And my brother would always do, because my brother had the Master System, and he knew the cheat code to do the level select, which was you had to put like the controller in oh my God, Zachary, I completely forgot that. Yes, you are correct. I put it there. You would have to, during the opening intro cutscene, you'd have to take the controller out, plug it into the second controller, do some button presses, and put it back in the first one. And only he could do it. So I always used to bug him, for one, to let me play his Master System, and two, to do the cheat. But the great soundtrack, I like the visuals. But yeah, the hang glider is obnoxious as shit. I thought the bosses they make you do in like with no rings, so it gets kind of hard. No, Dimitri, the Master System was released, I think, in most regions. It's just you guys kept it in business for like 20 years. But no, at least in Europe, because I used to have, before I sold all my old games, which part of me kind of regrets, but when you need rent, you gotta pay rent, you gotta, you know, I haven't played the Master System in 10 years, let's sell it. I had 1, 2, and Chaos were all put on Master System, at least in Europe. Speaking of Chaos, we're gonna put this in the played for 5 minutes tier. Again, it's just like, it's a game. I've heard it. It's kind of fun. I had never got too far into it, because it's just like you start playing it, and then I'll just be like, you know, I could just be playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles instead, which is way better, you know. But again, thanks to Origins, I might start playing these a bit more. These two I'm going to quickly bust out. Tail Sky Patrol, FT, fucking terrible game. It's basically like it's kind of like an auto squatter, but if you touch the ground, you die, and it's just for that, I'm like, fuck you, terrible game. So I'm toying between F tier and play it for 5 minutes, but I think just playing it for 5 minutes is all I need to know. It's I would have loved a Sonic Origins style collection that did all the 8-bit games. And I don't mean things like add in new stuff or like new characters. I'm like, just take the base game, make them all widescreen and 60 FPS. Because that would, for a lot of these, like for like Sonic Blast and maybe even Tail Sky Patrol, that would probably fix a lot of the problems with those games, you know. But I think because a lot of them aren't historically loved the way that the original classic Sonic games, like the Mega Drive games, are. I don't foresee that happening, especially when they were all just jumped on as ROMs for Origins Plus. But I would. There's a lot. If I was in charge of Sega, I would. There's a lot of stuff I would do in terms of its history. You know, for a company and a franchise that loves to look back at the past so often, I wish they kind of took a bit of care of it. But yeah, so we'll go through any more of these. Sonic 1. You know what this is? I'm gonna put this. I'll put it above Triple Trouble. It's a damn fun game. It's not exactly as Origins Plus I think originally said it was, or maybe still does. It is not just an 8-bit version of the original game. It is entirely new. Like its sequel, you know, you do things like I forget. In Sonic 2 on the Game Gear, you find the Chaos Emeralds in the levels, and I know Sonic 1 has special stages, but I think you still found Chaos Emeralds out. Like I seem to remember in Green Hill Zone finding the Chaos Emerald out in the wild. Holy crap! Boogie 2988 Raiding River Party 17. Thank you. Whoa! Thank you. Holy crap! That is a big raid. Thank you so much. Hello everyone. I'm ranking these games. We're just currently talking about Sonic 1 on the Master System. But yeah, one of the 8-bit games the drift games played for 5 minutes. Like they're an 8-bit racing game, so there's not really a lot to say or do with them, you know. So it's just like, it's a racing game that you can complete in 5 minutes. Okay, then. Okay, well, if there's anyone from the raid who would like me to rank one of these games, let me know. That's a 477. Mean Bean Machine is in C tier. It's a pretty good version of Puyo Puyo with Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Iconography slapped onto it. Sonic the Fighters. I think this has to go slap dab in the middle of C tier. It is quite possibly the epitome of just like a average game. It's a mindless button masher fighting game, which has a pretty good soundtrack. The graphics look pretty good. For the time, it's you know, it gave us Bean and Bark for the first time. Gave us a playable Knack for the first time. It lets you, I like how the version they put out on PS3 lets you play as Metal Sonic and Eggman and Honey the cat was in there. It's kind of like Sonic R. Like it's fine. It's more content than Sonic R. It feels more like an actual. Obviously, going to the arcades is a thing. Quick anecdote about this: it had at Sega World, which was a kind of like big indoor arcade in Piccadilly Circus in London from years ago. It became the Trocadero Arcade for a while. Now I believe it's shut down. It was a little thing where they had like mini rides and just a bunch of arcade games. That's where I got to play Fighters and Sega Sonic the Hedgehog. I remember me and this kid were playing that game for so long. There was a line was forming behind us, and a Sega World employee had to come up to us and respectfully ask us to stop playing so other people behind us could play. That's my memory of Sonic the Fighters. It's a fun game, but it's not. I think it's the type of game you could buy for $5, play for a couple hours that day, and then be satisfied with it for like a year. Dragon Super 10, 06. Yeah, 06 is in D tier. Pretty bad game. Okay, then. I know Spider. Like it was. The statue back was pretty cool. You know, fuck it. Let's do the advanced games. Oh, stop messing up. Okay. This is where I might get somewhat of a controversial opinion here. Dead Code 7. Put them on F. You don't like the advanced games? Okay, so if A tier hadn't been commandeered by Has Oil Ocean Zone, probably Advanced 1 would have definitely ended up in A tier. They're just really, really fun games. Again, it's weird that it came from a time period where not like a lot of the fans were like, Dimps, like the savior of the Sonic franchise. Sonic Team suck at making games. Dimps should make games forever. Then 5 years later, it was like, fucking Dimps should never make games anymore. Only Sonic Team can do stuff. The way I break it, I'm going to quickly break these down. Sonic Advance 1 is, as a lot of people in some of the people in the chat saying, it's basically the original Sonic 4. A lot of like original zones, but like this basically you got your Green Hill, your Chemical Plant, your Ice Level, Angel Island again, what have you. All 4 characters, great animations, fun music. Sonic Advance 2, which it's the highest C tier. On a different day, I might put this at the bottom of B tier, but Sonic Adventure 2 is maybe the epitome of the whole right to win. It is a game which is a bit more style than substance, but it's fun. It's a fine game. I think the reason why it gets down a little bit, it's because both the way to get to the special stages and the special stages themselves are fucking terrible. I will say across the entire trilogy, I have never gotten to the final boss because all of the special stages I like how they were all doing different things, and a lot of them tried for like a full 3D look, but just the depth perception just wasn't the best to play with on a tiny screen. So it's but again, all of them are fine games. I think you can have fun with all of them. So I also think some of the level design gets cheap towards the end of 2. There's so many bottomless pits. Sonic Advance 3 is basically almost just like a portable Heroes, or like almost a sequel of Knuckles Chaotix. 2 characters, they can each. The best thing about 3 is the combination of characters, which give you your partner can give you different power-ups and special moves. I think the level design is tighter than 2, but I don't think it's as good as 1. I know some people think 3 is the worst level design in the franchise in that series, but I'm like, I don't. It requires you to do more than I think 2 does a lot of the time. Jimmy 07, I think I've done most of the Game Gear games, yes. Is there any Game Gear games left? No, but a lot of them are in my play for 5 minutes tier, because I'm like, play for 5 minutes. Dimitri, yes. Again, it's like Because Taxman's retro engine goes up to 32 bits. In like, again, if I was in charge of Sonic Team or Sega, even though it may not be the most financial sense, I would have just been like, hey, Taxman, Christian Whitehead, to give him his proper name, here's a bunch of money. If remake every game we have that will work on your engine, which I assume would include things like R and Fighters, probably even Sega Sonic, Knuckles Chaotix, the GBA games. I have no idea how much money those games cost, like the remakes cost to make. Well, like, here's $20 million, remake all of these games that we can sell individually on online stores and collect together for different collections. Like, if you had all of them remade, you could do a Origins collection. You could do like an 8-bit collection. You could do a 32. You could do like a Saturn collection. You could do a Game Boy Advance collection. Blah blah blah. It's just, you know, a man can dream. Man can dream. Okay, let's bust out some of these quickly. Sonic Rush Adventure, I will put on high B tier. Kind of like with SA2 versus SA1, playing Sonic Adventure, Sonic Rush Adventure, really fun. Excuse me. Really fun games. In some ways, it fixes things from the original. Like I said, the bosses are better than they were in Rush, but it's and I like the fact that you can just play Sonic and Blaze on any level. Like the Blaze doesn't have her own separate story. And as Dimitri points out, it gave us a new venture. La 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 la. Great opening song, great soundtrack. The Rush composer did not return. It is handled by Sonic Team's internal music composer, like Tomio Otani that does work in it, for example. But they're clearly trying to emulate his style, and it works really well. I love the boss fight between Captain Whisker and Johnny. One of my favorite boss fights in the entire franchise. I love the fact that you are just Sonic's just fighting two people. Like, it's not a giant robot or like a giant mech or like an interdimensional god. It's just two guys, and I love that. I think it's really, really good. Team Sonic Racing, I will put in high C tier. Again, catch me on another day, and I might put it low B tier. But it's a fine racing game. The mechanics work. It works fine. I like things like, I love the team boost. Like the team boosting is pretty good. The problem is, as AGM, it's just not as fun as Transformed, and it's like it feels like a watered down version of Trans. Not just because obviously it's just Sonic characters this time. It's not Sega as a brand, but it's just like yeah, fantastic soundtrack. It was Jun Shinoi's first game as a sound director since episode 2, maybe. Am I wrong? No, I guess he didn't. Yeah, it might have been June's first It might have been June's first game as sound director for a while, unless I'm forgetting something. But they put a story on, which I always like when they put stories on. I wish the story mode had more effort than just, oh, here's 5 JPEGs of each character, and with a stacked background each time. Like, come on, guys, you could have put a bit more effort into it than that, Never played it online. Can't tell you what the online play is like, but me and my boy love playing this game. He loves customizing all the vehicles and everything like that. So it's fun game. Second source, I'm gonna put this in play for 5 minutes tier. Kind of fun game. I remember though, my friend Matt, inventor of Share Buddy, had it on Wii, and the Wii it's pretty bad on Wii. I felt it was very, very laggy. Years ago, I have somewhere on my Facebook, Smoothies drew a picture because he was with me when I was playing it at Matt's house, the one like the one when he came to England for Summer Sonic 09. There's a picture he drew of me like violently throwing the Wiimote on the floor because I was just reacting so badly to the game because it was not fun, not fun at all. Saturn version of 3D Blast. Where do I have regular 3D? I'm gonna put it just behind 3D Blast. Again, it's pretty much the exact same game. It just looks better. I will say it does have a better special stage, but I just prefer the Mega Drive soundtrack, so that's why that edges it out a little bit. Sonic Jam. It feels cheating to have Jam on here with no other collection, but I'll put it in their status because it's really good recreations of the original games. They did stuff like added different modes, like in easy mode, where they would like remove some pits and stuff. They all play great compared to the original. But it's about Sonic World. To this day, that hub world with all of the kind of extra stuff inside is, oh my god, AGM, you are correct. This goes in the Has Oil Ocean tier. But Sonic was still being able to, that's the first time being able to control Sonic in 3 dimensions. I used to spend hours in the little cinema just watching all like the commercials and the OVA trailer over and over again. It's would you say it's my favorite? It's I think in terms of the games themselves, which is kind of like the most important part of a compilation, Origins Plus might edge it out, but in terms of like extras and stuff like that, I think Jam is still the best, without question. All Stars Racing and Banjo-Kazooie. I again have it on Wii. I have the Wii version. Never really played it. Although this is still the version that was not able to update it to remove the stolen fan art of Sonia in the bingo level in the cards that one of the developers mistook for Amy online. So, but that's why you should always double check. Zachary0072, the Gamecom version of Sonic Jam is in the not played, because even though I did have a Gamecom, I was one of 7 people in the world to have a Gamecom. I never had Sonic Jam. Let's get Battle out of the way. Again, this is gonna be might be controversial. Low B, but I really love Battle. I put over 100 hours into this game. I love, I understand it's detractors. I understand people who it's very repetitive. A lot of times you will in the campaign, like if you're Knuckles and you have to fight Rouge, you'll fight them for 5 rounds, and then as soon as it's done, it'll be like, okay, now fight them for 10 rounds, and it's like, why? What? Don't do that to me. I think it controls super well. I love how it's, the characters are a 2D sprite in a full 3-dimensional background. I think that works really well. The all of the moves are fun. It's really good soundtrack for the GBA. Like it's a weird thing. It's like the Advanced Trilogy. It's like, I mean, we all know how bad the GBA sound chip was, so like none of it really sounds amazing. But with the advanced games, it's almost like they're kind of going for like a faux orchestral, like jazz band sometimes vibe. But with Battle, it's just pure rock, and I think even though it doesn't sound real, but the fact that you can tell they're going for like a rock and roll soundtrack, I think gives it the best soundtrack from any of the GBA games, because it's very Sonic. Also, because I'm pretty sure it's the only of the GBA games which actually had like Sonic Team's composers on it. I think probably. But yeah, beat it. Again, I would love so. Also, the art style. The art style is so good. The kind of like jagged edges. it's such a good start. I would love them to bring, just a download game, like remaster it. There you go, like remaster Sonic Battle. I would play the shit out of it. Sonic Forces is going up high on my C10. Again, this is another one that may be controversial. It gets a lot of hatred and like negative reception from the fan base. And I can understand why after the wait from Lost World and the build, the hype and all, like the marketing for it, it is a letdown. But it's whenever I see these tier lists and I see like Forces is like tiers below like 06 or like Rise of Lyric, I'm always like, how? Forces is a perfectly functional, playable game. Nothing is glitchy. Like again, it doesn't. You can totally say like he doesn't control how he should, and I get that. But it's a perfectly playable game. I am again a bit of bias in this though, just because I know the it's 30 levels. They're all pretty short. It's very very arcadey, which in some ways makes it very replayable. My son, like when he turned like 4 or 5, loved playing Forces. Like he was like, this is his favorite game. And a part of me is just like, because I think sometimes we forget. I say as a 35-year-old man who's been streaming online for the last 2 hours, ranking games made for 5-year-olds, that these games are made for 5-year-olds. It's a children's franchise, and I think sometimes we forget that collectively. It's like, yeah, it may not entirely appeal or has been as dark, what have you, as I would have wanted, but it's a game made for 5-year-olds. Which I'm not trying to say that means you shouldn't criticize, because again, there's so much of Forces is automated. There's so many levels where you just run in a straight line, and that is just like bad and lazy level design. So like, I'm not saying it's not without fault, but I think some of the levels are fun, really fun. The boss, I think, they're not great or anything amazing to write home about, but I think this has stronger bosses than some other 3D Sonic games released in the last 10 years or so. Soundtrack's pretty okay. It's not the best, not the worst. You get the London Philharmonic Orchestra, the orchestra that does Star Wars movies, did the orchestral tracks, and they sound so good. Infinite, fucking joke of a villain, but he's fun to make fun of. It's. I think I said this in the Brain Scratch LP. It is. Sonic Forces is the Thor 2 of games. It's just the most averagest game ever, That's why C tier, because C tier is average to me, and so it may have been a bit lower if not for I like that my son had fun with the game, so I kind of give it a little boost from that. Okay, what do we want? What do we want me to do last? Shadow or Front? I feel like maybe saving Shadow for last. It might be a thing, but what do we want to? What should the penultimate game I rank be? Shadow the Hedgehog or Sonic Frontiers? Yeah, Dimitri, again, like the story, it's like they could have done so much of it and they don't really do much of anything with it, which is kind of upsetting. But again, like I never really go to a Sonic game to expect a good story. Well, you know what? I know AGM and Zachary said do Frontiers last, but I gotta go with my boy Spider Knife. Do Shadow last. Let's go for Sonic Frontiers. Fuck it. S tier. If were this just to be A tier, I probably would have put it at the top of A tier. But my hands have been tied. It's not a perfect game at all. It has issues and problems, both technically, story-wise, gameplay-wise, level design-wise. It has jank in it, but what it does well, and experiencing certain things in this game made me feel a sense of joy and happiness that I hadn't felt in this franchise since Mania and Generations. I feel like over the course of the updates, not so much in what's the Final Horizon, not so much Final Horizon. I think Final Horizon takes a few steps backwards, but that's if we're just talking about the best game, like the base game itself. It's like they've kind of, I don't, not everyone agrees with this. Some people think he controls terribly, and that's, it's down to your opinion, and that's fine. But for me, it feels like they finally figured out how Sonic should control in 3D. Like this is like, it's like if you merged SA1 and Unleashed together, this is what you would get. I won't say I love the story, because the story that's there is pretty basic, but I love the characterizations. I think Ian Flynn did a great job, but I know some people would say he went a bit too slap happy with references and pullbacks from the franchise. I kind of think it was needed in this game, because so many of the games don't acknowledge each other, and Sonic has it's not the deepest or best written lore ever, but there is kind of a pretty decent mythology to this franchise, and I appreciated it being recognized, especially for things like the IDW, shout outs to like Tangle and Styx. So we may, I wouldn't hold my breath on the IDW cast, but like we could get like a fucking Styx in the next game, which I love. I love my crazy paranoid badger. It's things like when you get to Giganto for the first time, and that crazy, just like the style, the fucking music, it's just like, it's crazy. It was crazy to be playing what in any other Sonic game would have been the final boss as the first boss, and the second and the third. It is something that slightly diminishes over time once you level up Sonic. A lot of the Titans become a joke. They're still fun, but like there's no challenge there anymore. It's a game where for the first time in like 10 years, maybe longer, I am excited now for the future of this franchise. Like if because they've said this is going to be the basis for the next few games, 10 years, what have you. I forget what the quote was. Bring it on. Take everything you learn from this, all the feedback, and they've already implemented some of that with the updates, fixing things like, fixing things I guess they wanted to be in the base game to begin with, but fixing things like momentum and how we controlled and things like that, and Final Horizon, a whole new map with absolutely no 2D. One of the biggest complaints was all the 2D in the game, and then they gave us the third update with no 3D. I haven't gone through a lot of the new cyberspace stages, but I hear that they're some of the best in the game. And obviously there's people on the other side saying they're some of the worst in the game, so I'll have to dig into them myself to see. But it's again, when I live streamed DLC 3, playing Tails for the first time almost made me cry, because it was like, hasn't been playable since 06, and 06 was fucking terrible. how Tails plays. So like they've given what should be the second most important character in this franchise the respect he deserves for a little bit. Favorite songs from Frontiers? I don't hear it being similar, but I think One Way Dream is one of the best Sonic songs ever. So I think it's certainly one of the best credit songs. I do think it's weird how they hyped up Vandalize, and it's just in like easy and medium. So I thought was weird. Like why like they made a fucking music video for this song, and if you actually complete the game properly, you can't even hear it. But yeah, so that's where it goes. That's where it goes. Okay then. Shadow the Hedgehog. Yes, Spider, good, thank you for that. I am actually gonna, when I stream tomorrow, I might just hang out and chat and just do things like fix up the YouTube and get those videos viewable. But so, okay. Again, this might be another slightly controversial. I put it above Heroes because I genuinely think Shadow the Hedgehog plays better than Heroes. I think it's a thing where, like, in terms of its tone, its style, soundtrack, definitely. I think Heroes is the better game, but I think the fact that it is just one character, I think he's still too slippery, but I think it controls better than Heroes. Again, some may argue not by a lot, but I think he is a lot less slippery. I think the level design it is hit and miss compared to Heroes in some ways. I think, as AGM pointed out, yes, levels are better designed for the speed character because it's just him, don't have to worry about doing power or flight formations. But then you do have some levels like the Ark where, Jesus Christ, I like the idea of the morality system. I wish it didn't just bog down to a lot of times of just, kill this thing 20 times, kill this thing 20 times, or just do nothing and run a lot. I wish there was a bit more varied. In that regard, I wish story progression, wish they put more thought into that, because the way the way you can progress, you can end the level. You can be completely going up and doing the hero mission. You can do one level dark side, and then you can be struck into a cutscene where it's treating it like you had been following Black Doom since the beginning. So I was like, I could have had a bit more time on it. Soundtrack, it's I think it's good. I don't think it's one of Jun Sonoi's or the franchise's best. It probably wouldn't crack my. Excuse me. Probably wouldn't even crack my top 15, maybe even my top 20, but there are a lot of, I think Westopolis is great. The vocal tracks, I Am All of Me, Need I Say More, The Chosen One, probably one, that'll be on the rated list when I really enjoy The Chosen One. It's I get it, it's a fucking 4-foot hedgehog with a bunch of guns. And it's just... It's not a great game. Again, that's why I put it in C. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's that good ever. I think it is. Shadow the Hedgehog could be the poster child of maybe even more so than 06, of that time period of Sega just really not knowing what to do with this franchise. And I think Izuka has said that it's partly inspired by Jak 2, so fuck you, Naughty Dog, for ruining this franchise. But of course, had to be C tier because this is the game that, of course, gave us Find the Computer Room. And without that, like I said earlier with SA1, without that, I would not be currently where I am, literally. to be able to rank all these games with you, find people in my chat. But I think this. But yeah, I think now this is my ranking. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put Frontiers above Rush. But that, boys and girls, is my ranking of all of the Sonic, or most of all of the Sonic the Hedgehog games. I've been streaming for almost 3 hours, and I think thanks to the raid, I think this is the most people I've had in one stream. So I want to thank you for watching. So looking at this, then, is there any, aside from, again, certain ones like Shadow? I know Rise of Lyric got a few people in the chat being like, "Boy, you crazy," but what do you think of the list? Is it vastly different to what other stuff you guys might pick? Good list. Well, again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us again. I will be back again tomorrow, probably around 6, to just do another casual. Again, I will probably, if you guys are okay with it, I might just work on the back end of some stuff, and then just, we can maybe just do a Q&A. We can just ask me whatever you want, and then I'll answer it, and then be like, I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, this is my list. I might see if I can post this on Twitter, just so I can get a lot of people on Twitter being like, you are a fucking idiot. But I'm used to that. So thank you so much, everyone, and I will see you all tomorrow. How do I turn this off? Oh, good lord.